So you might think that's funny, and it kinda is, but let's take a look at how us men sleep. Okay, so now that we've exemplified that men and women have different sleeping problems, let's get to the part that interests you the most. What does the way your girlfriend sleep tell you about her? Let's face it, it probably didn't only happen once that you were ready to go to bed just to find your girlfriend all wrapped in a blanket, leaving you with nothing to cover yourself with. But what really pisses you off in this case is that in the middle of the night you have to unwrap her, and you have to do that slowly, really slowly, because you know that if she wakes up, you'll release the Kraken. The gods will not be there to help you, my friend. You have to deal with it by yourself. Yes, I know there will be no princess there that you're gonna kiss. And she will not cuddle you in her arms like a mother. And if you've been involved in any serious relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But pay attention to what I'm about to say, because it is crucial for your relationship. And I'm gonna tell you right now what it's all about. But before that, just make sure you press the subscribe button for more videos like this. The source of all that fussing back and forth, the nervousness and bustle, may be you. Yeah, you heard me. You. Have you ever thought that your partner's sleeping pattern may act like a portal into her private thoughts about you? Well, it happens. Often, when sharing a bed, especially with new couples, the default is to adopt one's preferred style. This explains the awkward bed battles that occur in the early days of a relationship, and the shifting and skirming that occurs when these power dynamics are first being settled and you're both attempting to adopt your preferred position. How these positions interact and merge over time will give you the clearest insights about your relationship's health. But we will get to that later. First, let's take a look at the most common lone sleeping positions. And these can be divided into roughly 6 categories. Number 1, the fetus position. Sleeping on one side with legs and arms curled towards the body. This is one of the most common sleeping positions, with some studies reporting that roughly 41% of sleepers adopt this position. It's a defensive position and can often demonstrate a sensitive and private individual. The fetus position is an attempt to shut out the outside world, as it is a position of withdrawal and privacy. Number 2, the starfish. Sleeping on one's back, legs splayed open with arms behind the head. This may be my favorite position, as it's the polar opposite of the fetus position. Those who adopt the starfish position feel safe, relaxed, and comfortable in their surroundings. This is the most relaxed of all the sleeping positions and is a great sign that the sleeper feels comfortable and at home. Number 3, the freefaller. Sleeping on one's stomach, head to the side, legs apart, and arms beneath the head or wrapped around the pillow. Like the starfish, this position demonstrates comfort in one's surroundings. However, this is a more private position, and like the fetus position, it is an attempt to shut out the world. This position can demonstrate an individual in a relaxed but private state. Number 4, the log. Sleeping on one side with legs and arms straight. This is a relaxed version of the fetus position. The sleeper is somewhat more comfortable in their surroundings, but not entirely at ease. Generally, sleepers in this position are feeling somewhat vulnerable or highly strung. Number 5, the soldier. Sleeping on one's back, legs straight and close together, and arms straight and by one's side. This position is a slightly more relaxed version of the log. It represents a sleeper that is at ease but feeling somewhat self-aware and reserved. Unfortunately, the soldier position leads to snoring. And number 6, the hoggar. Sleeping on one side, legs sprawled apart and arms outstretched as if looking for something to hug or actually hugging a pillow. This is a relaxed sleeping position, similar in many ways to the starfish. However, it is most often seen in those who crave company. Therefore, it's a common position for those who are recently single and are used to sharing a bed. This is a submissive position and tends to demonstrate the need for support or an affectionate disposition. Now, before jumping into the conclusions, you have to bear in mind that these are all very broad explanations that certainly do not fit all circumstances. But they're a good starting point if you want to have an idea about what's in her head. And remember, simple physical conditions such as one's health, the temperature of the room, or other practical matters may exert a stronger influence on one's choice of sleeping position. There is plenty of room for interpretation. However, as a rule, open sleeping positions tend to demonstrate an individual that feels comfortable and relaxed, while closed positions are for those who feel insecure or require privacy. Now, let's put it all together. Once you have established you and your partner's default sleeping preferences, it's then a matter of applying a little detective work to establish the relationship dynamics. This isn't astrology and there is no metaphysical rules to live by. Instead, use your intelligence and rationally analyze the dynamic for the best approach. However, there are certain signs to look out for. Do you and your partner sleep stuck together like clams or like lone wolves curled at opposite sides of the bed? The physical distance between you and your partner's sleeping bodies is a direct yardstick for your emotional closeness. Instinctively, we all know that sleeping in the arms of your lover is a good sign, while a cold, empty gap between your two turned backs isn't. This is an important sign and one best not ignored. The vulnerable and unfiltered state of sleep is often the first place a growing divide can be noticed. If you're sleeping further and further apart, it's time to start working on rebuilding your emotional ties or, buying a bigger bed. Are you always attempting physical closeness only for your partner to grunt and adopt a back-turned fetus position? Well, the message here is that you're more into her than she is into you. Equally, if the reverse is true, you may want to take your time and reconsider your feelings. Now things are getting serious. Almost all relationships are a power play. Dominance and submission are hardwired into human relationships and sexuality. From the extremes of the world of BDSM to the subtle dynamics of a more vanilla couple, all relationships tend to reflect some level of hierarchical interplay. Sleeping positions are a great place to spot this and to discover your role in the relationship. One of the most popular and famous sleeping positions is big spoon, little spoon. Spooning is generally a healthy sleeping position for couples. It demonstrates trust, closeness, and an intimate bond. However, here you find a prime example of the emotional dynamics in the relationship. In general, if you're the big spoon, you're playing the supportive, dominant, and nurturing role, while the little spoon is more emotionally submissive and in need of attention. However, even here, it is the subtleties that matter the most. Ask yourself questions such as who instigates this position and is it always reciprocated? The answers will tell you a great deal. Another healthy sleeping position is starfish and hoggar. Generally, the starfish role is the dominant provider, offering emotional support for the relationship. The hoggar, once again, playing the submissive role. As a rule, a healthy relationship will almost always be reflected in a more intimate, balanced, and physically close sleeping arrangement. The smaller the power play, the more equality in the positions, and the closer the bonds. So if you're lucky enough to find that you and your partner sleep like two starfish intertwined, then be sure to count your lucky stars. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Don't forget to leave us a like, and I'll see you in our next video.